I always think about something Tom Stoppard said. He said that we're not very often very good at the things we love. And I love movies, and I just have always wanted, since I was a kid in Cyprus, I used to watch the same films again and again and again, and want to go with the film stars wherever they went at the end of the movie, and thought if I could just get to Hollywood, I'd be happy.
Oh, wow.
And turns out I was wrong.
I am talking to Alex Michaelides, his new one, The Fury. It is out in hardback now. It seems like it's going to be one of those locked door mysteries, but it's not that. So tell us what you can.
Yes, sure, absolutely. Well, ostensibly it's about a famous ex-movie star who invites her 6 best friends to spend Easter with her on her private Greek island. And then they get trapped there because of the wind. And then there's a murder. The furious wind, yes. But what I try to do with this book is anybody who writes or picks up a novel where characters get trapped on an island and there's murder has got Agatha Christie hovering over their shoulder.
Yeah.
And so what I wanted to do was kind of play with the expectations that a reader brings to it and then turn them on their head. So I had a lot of fun coming up with the twists and turns in the book.
And also, we don't really get to the island. It's about halfway. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of London and that. Yeah.
Yes, yeah, no, exactly. Well, I wanted to kind of focus on I call it a why done it, not a who done it. So I really want to kind of focus on the motivations and the psychology and the childhood of all the characters too. It was really fun having a smaller canvas than with my last book where I overstretched myself and just having 7 characters and one of them dies. So actually, it's not that many people to focus on.
And it's quite meta because it's written by a writer.
Yes. It's written by a playwright, and he's very aware of his genre, and so are readers. And so I thought it would be kind of like a dialogue about the conventions of a murder mystery all the way through. It would be really fun. So I've enjoyed doing that aspect of it.
And did you bring your kind of screenwriting credentials to play writing Eliot?
Yes, I did. I think, it's also the world that it's set in, because it's about a movie star, a playwright, and a British theatre actress. And it's a world I know really well. And so I thought it would be fun to take these larger-than-life characters, trap them on an island and throw in a murder. So yes.
And in terms of the pacing, because it starts and we know that Eliot knows everything. I always think when it comes to writing, you could just blurt it all out. This happened, and it's a page long. How do you approach it? Kind of like breaking it down into kind of so that it becomes a whole novel.
Well, this was probably the most fun book that I've written. I decided to change the way that I wrote. My first 2 novels, I planned them both for like a year and a half before writing a single word, which does take the joy out of it slightly. And so this time I decided that I was going to create a situation where I knew the setup, I knew the characters, didn't know who the murderer was, didn't know who the victim was, and just tell myself the story. And so it sort of evolved, and I pretended that, the conceit is that he's sitting in a bar talking to the reader. And so I just pretended that he was sitting opposite me in a bar and buying me a drink and just telling me a story. And I just kind of tried to have this character create this whole plot as he went along. So it requires an act of faith, because you've got to pray that you're going to get to an end and there is going to be an ending.
I mean, it's confident, just heading into the wild unknown.
It was a decision because I wanted to have fun. I didn't really, after the success of my first book, I probably should have taken a beat to pull myself together and to reevaluate. But I didn't. My agent said to me, you have to write a second novel at some point. It might as well be today. So I did, but I also chose kind of very sad subject matter about a grieving heroine and very, very sad story. And then 3 years later, I was profoundly depressed. And I thought, this time I want to write about movie stars and glamour, martinis, cocktails, and witty banter.
And a lovely Greek island.
So it's been a pleasure to inhabit that world.
Have you heard that thing that Agatha Christie used to decide who'd done it, like at the end of the book?
If you look at some of her notebooks, it's quite comic, I must say, because she says, also the detective as well, she goes, it could be Tommy and Tuppence, it could be Hercule Poirot, it could be Miss Marple. I think it was a definite interplay of like inserting, murderers and victims and even detectives in and out.
Oh, I see what you mean. She would decide who the detective was late in the day.
Late in the day, so yeah.
Wow.
Fascinating, yeah.
And that's before you'd word search and cut and paste. I mean, now, easy to do that. And you're on a book tour. You're going to be going around the UK now, yeah?
Yeah, that's right. I've just done a couple of weeks in America, which was really fun, starting in the snow of Chicago and Pittsburgh and ending up in Miami a couple of days ago, where people were swimming in in the pools and sunbathing.
Oh, gorgeous.
So it's been amazing. Yeah, and meeting
could people come and
readers.
see you in the UK?
Yes, I'm going to Birmingham tomorrow and then Liverpool. I was in London last night. It's a lot of fun, to meet, because it's my first tour. I didn't tour with my first book, and then COVID happened with the second, and so now's the first chance I'm getting to meet readers, and I'm really enjoying it. Yeah.
It's so weird that you're 3 novels into this huge successful career, and this is the first time you're meeting readers.
Yeah, it's wonderful. It's starting to feel real. It didn't feel, because I wrote the first 2 novels at my kitchen table, and it felt like nothing had changed at all. And now suddenly I'm actually out in the world, and it's exciting.
Yeah, I'm very successful. I'm a big deal. We were just talking about what to wear for a book tour. Do you dress up as an author? Do you wear corduroy?
Yeah, I think you're allowed to wear what you like as an author, which is nice. But I was starting off very smart, and now I'm getting shabbier with each event. Sadly,
a tramp by the end of it.
Yeah, no, totally.
And the other thing that comes with great success is that people option your books. Mm-hmm. So have they all sold now? They've
all been optioned. Yeah, there should be some exciting news about The Silent Patient very, very soon. In fact, about the film version, which is really cool. Plan B has the rights, and it looks like it's going to happen. So I'm excited about that.
Okay.
And yeah, the second one's going to be a TV series possibly, and The Fury has just been optioned, and for another movie. And I wrote it for Uma Thurman. The novel, because we met during the last film that I wrote 10 years ago, and when I was a terrible screenwriter in Hollywood. And
you stopped that now.
It's true. She taught me how to write visually. We sat down with the script that I'd written for her while we were filming it, and she explained to me why it wouldn't work, which isn't something you want to hear
while you're filming
it, and then kind of taught me about visual writing. And I took everything that she taught me and put it into The Silent Patient, rewrote that book, and my writing got so much better. So I wanted to write something for her, and I've written the part of Lana, the movie star, in The Fury for Uma, and she's agreed to be in the movie when it happens. So,
oh, wow.
Yeah, it's a dream come true, really.
Yeah. And, like, The Silent Patient, why couldn't that have started life as a screenplay?
It's a really good question. No one's asked me that before. Because
Someone recording this?
I think because I was trying to get out of screenplays. I'd done 3 films, each have been worse than the last. And there's something about being a screenwriter in a film set, not on television, but in films, that is very, depressing, because you're the least important person.
Yeah. And
everything gets rewritten on the set without your participation, even, never mind permission. And I just, spend 5 years on a script, and then you watch it fall apart. And then you get a panicked phone call from the director in the editing room saying, it's not working. And I'm like, well, I know that. I saw you, mess it all up on set.
Yeah.
So I just thought, I've always loved detective stories. I've loved Agatha Christie my whole life. And I thought before I was 36 at that point, and I felt like I had no career. My last agent had dropped me. And I thought, well, before I give up, I'm going to try and write this detective story I've been carrying in my head for 2 decades. So it was always going to be a novel. And I'm honestly much better at writing novels. So it was a good choice.
But I wonder, is it because you don't have to collaborate? Is it do you believe that those 3 screenplays that you now don't think were very good, when you finished them and before you'd shown them to anyone, were they really good?
I think they were all right, but I do think that I find it much easier to get inside somebody's head than to dramatize a scene. And so the moment I started to write a first-person narrative novel, I was like, oh, yeah, I can do this. Because there's something about books that you can slow down time, you can expand, you can go backwards and forwards in someone's head. You can suddenly remember a childhood scene, and he says, oh, by the way, I want to tell you about this. Whereas when you're actually dramatizing a scene, I find it very hard to get below the surface in the way that I would like to.
Isn't that interesting? Do you look back now and think, why the hell did I ever want to write screenplays?
I always think about something Tom Stoppard said. He said that we're not very often very good at the things we love. And I love movies. And I just have always wanted, since I was a kid in Cyprus, I used to watch the same films again and again and again, and want to go with the film stars wherever they went at the end of the movie, and thought if I could just get to Hollywood, I'd be happy.
Oh, wow.
And it turns out I was wrong.
And are you adapting The Silent Patient?
No, I'm not. I'm not really involved. I'm going to be more involved with The Fury, but the others, I felt I wanted to take a step back and focus on the writing of books.
Yeah.
Which, as you know, takes a very long time.
Yeah.
So,
and also, it's
yeah.
going pretty well. So
Yeah.
really, you should focus on it.
Yeah, well, thank you.
Yeah, follow the success. I was saying, do that.
That's good advice.
Thank you very much for coming in to see us.
It's such a joy to be here. Thank you for
Well,
having
yeah,
me.
because we've done the Zoom before, but yeah,
Yeah.
this is the real deal.
It
At
is.
the top of the tower.
We're back.
Yeah, baby. All right, good luck with The Fury. It is out in hardback now.
Virgin Radio.